Alright, so I'm a little late to the party with this. Literally about a day, pretty much. The holiday was something else for me. I got a little sick, so we're doing this now. I know I should have done this earlier. I have already read these, but I will try to keep the reactions as non-biased as well. I'm biased, but I'll be going over the reactions. Before we get into this, I'm just going to say I love this patch. Everything about this, well, except for one thing, and we'll get into that one thing once we get to it. So, the developers put out the patch, the PTB. Basically, this is the changes that have happened from the PTB that will come to live. It is still possible to change a couple other things. Probably not, but we'll see. We do have a lot of updates coming because we do still have the Christmas event as well coming. Probably a week in, or a week or two into Chucky coming out. So, we'll see if they change anything from there. But let's get into the Chucky changes. So, to ensure survivors have a chance to react, we have slightly increased the time it takes for to scamper under a pallet from 1.2 seconds to 1.4 seconds. They've also adjusted the movement speed after missing a slicing attack to allow survivors to gain more distance as they dodge. So, the scamper change needed. We all said it, even people who really enjoyed Chucky, we all said it. We'll see how much this makes a difference. It is only 0.2 seconds. That doesn't sound like much, but in this game, that can mean a lot. I would love to play around with this and see if the running shoes that add the 3% movement speed when you do it actually change this and make it not so much of a nerf, but we'll see. This pretty much just means, though, if you're running Hubris Enduring, you can't just automatically just scamper under it. I don't know if there was a better solution, because the idea of him not being able to M1 after it just feels clunky. Because unlike Wesker, there's like no animation of the tentacle going away or something, so I think, while I've heard that as a solution, I think it would just feel off. I don't know. We'll see. If worse comes to worse and they have to do that, I completely understand, but yeah, I think this is an okay change. Next, the movement speed after missing the slice and dice. I think this is fine and justified. My only fear with this is that it means you can't just use the slice and dice for mobility on base kit, but then again, there are a couple add-ons. And the power drill, well, pretty much the one that lowers the miss cooldown by 12.5%. It'll kind of make up for this a bit. So I actually still think this is a good change. Using the slice and dice for mobility is something cool, but I'm glad that you using it around the map won't be punished as much, but using it in chase for mobility will be punished slightly more, and I think that's fine. It's the same thing it did to the Xenomorph, and I think that was a good change to her as well. So next is a buff, though. Slice and dice duration extending add-ons such as the jump rope, and this is something I was saying from day one. They have increased slice and dice's duration by 0.2 seconds. So all they did was literally do what I said. They added 20% from jump rope to the base kit. They said they adjusted the number on jump rope, and we don't know what the number is, so we don't know if it's still 30%. If it is, I don't think jump rope is going to become meta, but I think it's going to still become one of his more used add-ons. If it's only 10% now on the add-on, that's cool too. Like I said, I just wanted a little bit of it added to base kit. It just felt nice. That was the thing. It was just one of those perks that I don't think was necessarily like super good. It was just really, really nice to use. And it allowed some hits that you couldn't get normally. So, yeah. They also said they're doing a balancing pass on all his add-ons. They didn't give us any numbers, obviously, because their behavior. So we'll have to take a more closer look at that on Tuesday when he comes out. Now, the thing with this is I was going to do a video on which add-ons are going to be good and bad in a tier list type video, but we really aren't going to be able to do that until a couple days after its release. So, yeah. That's unfortunate for me, but it is what it is. Next are the perk changes. It's just the one. Batteries included. Now, in yesterday's video, I did say that people kind of stopped talking about this perk. Oh my god, did they not stop talking about this perk once they saw this? I don't like this change. And I know I'm a broken record like every other content creator. Here is my problem with this change. And I think it actually shows a bigger issue with perks in this game. I think this perk went from being slightly niche in-game use perk that got kind of used during main game, now to being a super niche perk in general that won't get much use in the game at all. Once again, the killer doesn't want to be chasing around completed gens during the main game, so the fact that this isn't going to work in-game anymore, because it combines with NOED, is just... I feel like there's another solution there, and that's getting rid of haste stacking on both sides at this point. Because if we're going to start bottlenecking certain perks because other perks exist and the combos they can have, like even with it combining with NOED, I don't think it's as big of an issue as they're making it out to be. And I don't know if this is blaming people who were, quote, abusing this. I don't think they were abusing it, but like there's really no other better word right now. And if it's from usage rate, here's the thing I really hope they notice, because it's a PTB, and a lot of people like me, like, they don't have all of their perks on PTB. Some people literally got the PTB just to try out Chucky, and the perks they have are the general perks. No, it's a general perk, and Chucky's perk, and these two work very well together. And of all of those perks, they're two perks that actually combine very well together, of those options. So yeah, I don't know. I actually kind of hope they walk back on this. So when I'm saying for this actually is a bigger issue with other perks, it's not just the fact that this more so shows haste stacking than anything else. It's also, I feel like perk tiers need to go away. I'd still be cool if they made it so you had to P3 everyone to get the perks, but I think perk tiers are bottlenecking a lot of perks, in the sense that, because my suggestion for Batteries Included was just get rid of the linger effect, but they can't do that. And the reason they can't do that is because if there's no linger effect, there's no number to go up and down for the perk tiers. Same with NOED. For NOED, they could get rid of the haste boost from NOED, but they can't do that because then there's nothing to go up and down on the tier list. Like, you can't have a difference between level 1 NOED and level 3 NOED if there's no movement speed. This is the reason why Calm Spirit kind of changed the way it did too. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't like this change. I know a lot of people don't, but I want to say I have immense frustration with this change. Trickster. So I don't play Trickster much. I didn't play him at all in the PTB. I did watch a few videos, and I think a lot of these changes that they walked back on kind of were warranted. So they're reverting the Trickster's throw rates to 3 blades per second. Was for during the PTB. I think this is fine. I think this means you just can't do things as fast, which is perfectly okay. I think what they're trying to do with a lot of these changes that they're talking about right here is slow him down in his ability to down survivors, which is fine by me. I think it'll work out just okay. They wanted main event to have more often because they wanted to be actually part of his kit and not so much just a thing that happens. So main event now takes 8 blades, which means it takes the same amount of blades as it does to injure somebody. Which means Trickster's typical gameplay is going to look like throw a blade, throw your blades, injure them, now you have main events, now you can use main event the next loop. Rather than throw a couple blades, then use main event, and yeah. They're also adjusting some of his add-ons again, one that increases the time before the combo ends. Both of those are getting increased a little bit. Death Throne's compilation reveals the aura survivors hit during main event for 6 seconds. This actually doesn't sound that great because you're like, oh, you're in main event, you can only hit them with a range attack. There are some loops that I feel this will actually not be that bad. And anyone who knows how I play knows I love aura reading perks like this because it's not being able to mind game me during chase is always such a time saver and something I feel is underrated a lot. Mostly because distortion is used way too much, but yeah, story for another day. And then iridescent photo card. The haste boost is now lost when the survivor is injured rather than dying. From what I understand, there were Trickster players who were just going around hitting the knives, injuring people, and then doing hit run playstyle, and I guess they're trying to avoid that. I don't think this is going to completely avoid that, but we'll see. In any case, I like these changes. I like these changes a lot, especially for Chucky. I think he's the... Oop, ignore my Google thing popping up. Chucky's the big thing. I think Scott June had a video about this too, and he basically said the same thing I did. This is everything I wanted to change to Chucky. We'll have to see the add-on number tweaks, obviously, but yeah, it's good. Scamper isn't super OP anymore, and I think that's great, and Slice and Dice can't be used super hard for mobility. Once again, with the Slice and Dice one too, we don't really know how much slower the recovery is, so we'll still have to see how that turns out, but I think it's a fine change regardless. And the Slice and Dice duration being increased, that's the biggest thing I wanted as far as buffing him and making him stronger. I don't think it's going to hurt at all, and I think it means Slice and Dice gets a little bit more range and a little bit more times it can be used without having to run an add-on. Very similar to the Doom engravings on Hillbilly. Doing this feels like you're giving people more options, and I think options are always a good thing to add to a character in some way, shape, or form with buffs and nerfs. I've always said this before, whenever I talk about buffing and nerfing anything in a video game, my idea is always not to nerf something into the ground so it's not used, or buff something up so it's always used. It's always to buff it into conversation, and I think that is something that we're doing with this. It means that there isn't just use this add-on as of now. Obviously, something will always be better than everything else, and we'll see how the meta develops over the past few days, or the next few days once he comes out. But yeah, so that's the developer notes. I know this one was a little longer than most other people's roundup of it. It's just because I'm talking a little slow since I'm kind of tired today. The news in IRL, I have passed a kidney stone today. It's why I sound a little out of it right now. I'm fine. I should be fine for Tuesday. Speaking of, Tuesday is still the Toys for Tots stream. Don't forget, it'll be my link below for my Twitch if you want to follow there, so you can donate to Toys for Tots if you'd like. If you can't make it to stream, I will be adding links here as well, so you can donate even if you can't make it to the full stream. But we'll see how that goes. In any case, like and sub. You know, I know the videos have been doing decently well, and I appreciate all the support I've been getting. Yeah, I love you guys. Let me know what you think of the changes. I know I've heard a few people agree with the batteries included change. I would love to hear your opinions on it. I really would. I read every comment that goes below, and I try not to be rude about it as long as you don't try to be rude about it. In any case, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Chucky video, and yeah, bye!